1. Number 2. I think my GoPro is dead. Let's see. Doesn't matter. Okay, so these batteries have been in the case for a few days, and I tried to go out, and I've been having this problem for a while, so I really haven't got to go through all my batteries in a while since I've been having problems for weeks now. Anyhow, it's saying 97%. I'm not touching anything. It just dropped again. I don't get it. So while that is running down, if it doesn't take off again, I give all my my batteries a number, just, you know, keep up with them. And on the side, every time I charge them, I give them a tick mark. So this one I've charged 17 times, and whenever I did a test on it at 17 times, it was reading at 95% capacity, efficacy, however they measure it. So, best of my knowledge, all of these registered in that range, and they've all been charged roughly the same amount of times, except for one. I bought a new battery, and we'll try it out in a minute. In fact, I will go ahead and skip number 3 and go to that new battery. Alright, so now I'm going to talk about this battery here. This is a battery I just bought recently, and it is, let me stop that, it is a slightly different specification than the batteries that I did have. Try not to hit these props. So this is the battery that came with, if it'll focus, and then this is the one I just got. Now it's higher milliamp hours, so hopefully that means more battery life, but we'll see. Longer run time, 10%. But I'm just pointing that out to say that is one variable in this equation. This one battery that I'm about to try out will be different than the other batteries. 9%. Now, for some reason it's pitching up. I see that it's 8% here, and I don't have a readout on the motor, so I don't know if it's trying to pitch forward or backwards or what it's trying to do. Okay, so I'm just trying to see how low it will go here. Now it's reading 0% there. It just took a massive dip. And I'm not going to do this on all my batteries because that's not a good thing to do if it's actually reading that low. But still reading 0. I'm going to turn the camera off. Point in that, but it might make it easier to read that too. So I'm going to crank it again. I flipped it back to manual. The fail safe. Well, hey. Alright, so I've started this camera just for the sake of I've got this camera in case I want to get a different angle, and I didn't expect this to take as long as it did, so I have to start and stop my Nikon. It only runs in like 20-minute increments, so I wanted to be able to have a long, continuous footage, so I'm sorry for the inconsistencies. Yeah, I thought this was going to be like a 5-minute thing, but it's turned out to be quite the endeavor. And I hate to stop at this point because I really want to see what happens when this thing just runs and runs and runs after reading 0 for however long. And since there's nothing to do but watch and wait, let's see. I am using the Futaba remote that came with this rig. I'm still reading 7.5 volts in there, so I'm good on that. I have my Black Pearl monitor. I just got it plugged in so that we can run indefinitely. And I framed it all so that you could see inside the camera, see what all I was doing. I'm trying to think of interesting things to say, but there's nothing to say. It's just waiting for a battery to go dead. I will say, it's been a while since I've done the programming. I got this to be an end user, which I like to shoot videos and do some commercials locally and just, you know, hobbyist, all that stuff. I'm not racing, so I wanted something that shoots smooth. I want something that can move. It's easy to use, and I'm not a hobbyist so much. I don't want to be getting under the hood more than I have to. I think it's neat. I'd like to, but I just don't have enough hours in the day. So what I wanted when I got this rig was something, a turnkey solution, so I could get in the air and get nice, you know, rig shots so that I could get a smooth pedestal shot, a nice pan, all that stuff. Something higher than the gimbal that I'm using here, which I guess I can get in front. What I'm using to shoot this is the Futaba. This is an older model at the time. It's like January the 5th, 2017. So I've had this model for a couple years. I've had this this guy for like going on, I think 2 years now. 3? I forgot. It was all consuming when I got it, and it flew great, and it went all over the place, and not a problem in the world. I did have a hard landing, a couple, and I'm sure I did something, but so far I've been able to find out nothing from any of the makers and suppliers and builders or whatnot, because it's a Phantom 2, DJI Phantom 2 quad from DSLRPros, who basically amped it up. They put different motors in there, put different props, and, you know, a Zenmuse gimbal, the GoPro camera, and just a few little mods like that. Plus, I got this controller, the monitor there, a really slick case with a bunch of batteries, and I've since bought another battery or two. So it's, you know, it's a nice little little rig here. Got my fire bag for my charging, and I've got a charger in there for my lipos, an extra lipo for the actual controller. And so far, when it's working, I've been as pleased as punch with it. It's worked really well, but ever since I've been getting this I guess a low voltage error, I don't know how to proceed with it, and I've called different involved parties, and nobody seems to know what the issue is or whose issue it is. So that's the problem, I guess, with a kit company. Yeah, I'm just killing time right now because I'm waiting. I don't know if that's an error in the readout or what, but the battery drained down like that, but it's still going, obviously. I can only hope I'm not damaging something by doing this, but I'm hoping in worst case scenario I will only mess up the battery. I could be way off, but used to, I know with batteries, some batteries that you had to drain them down to a certain point before charging them all the way back up again, or else you would lose the memory. They would not charge all the way, or they wouldn't run out all the way, one way or the other. I don't recall, but essentially you wouldn't get a full battery out of it. See, this has already stopped, so I'll start it again. I'm going to have a whole bunch of footage to work with after this is over with, but what do you do? And I want to keep the camera moving because something cool may happen and I don't want to miss it. But until then, that camera's going. I'm shooting with a Nikon D5300. I've been pretty pleased with it. It's nothing fancy. I figured it was a good introduction to these types of cameras, to DSLR cameras. For me, it's a good budget. It met a lot of my criteria, and they had already come out with some newer versions, but I actually like this one here because it still has the Wi-Fi if I want to use that, and it's red. It's cool. It does everything I need it to do, and I figure by the time I know enough about these kind of cameras, this will have given me the opportunity to say, oh, this is what I like, what I didn't like, and make me more educated as a consumer in the next go around. If you notice in the background, I'm here at my studio. This is the control room, also the area where I do little projects like working on my drone. This is my workstation. I have a Stevenson console. It's Interface Electronics. They made these back in the 70s. They're all made by hand. It's got just a wonderful sound. I really like it, and I know to each their own, but I've been super pleased with it. Low noise, great sound. It takes care of all that analog, all the subtleties that you don't get from mixing in the box, as it were. So it allows me to do a lot of stuff on the real world side of things before going into the box, and allows me to pipe it back out if I want to do some real world like analog mixing. I'm using Apollo 16 for my 80A converter, 16 in, 16 out. Well, actually 18 out, I believe, because the monitors, all that jazz. Also, standard Windows machine. Base model machines run pretty well for audio these days. I'm running Cubase, and for my video editing, I use Corel video software, Video Studio. I got it because it was a good price, and it does everything I need to do. I don't make crazy stuff. So let's see, my camera just shut off again because my battery is down. It's been running so long, my camera battery ran down. So I'm going to put this as a static shot, and hopefully I'm framing everything up here. Oh, sorry, my gimbal just went sideways. finally did it. Okay, so hopefully I got that on film. I'm starting my battery charger since get the other camera rolling while I do the next test. So I'm going to let everything run in real time. I apologize for how boring this video is. Okay. I just ordered an adapter for my Nikon so that it will run indefinitely without, so at least the batteries won't be an issue. Okay. Slate that. Put my toys in the right place so I don't lose them. Alright, so we are going again. That battery finally came out. Honestly, you won't be able to do any time calculations on that until I go back and watch this long, boring video. So that is just a dead battery. And this sucker is super tight. Some of them are worse than others. So number 2, I have run all the way down. Let's see, am I still focused? Yeah. Now, what I'm going to do here, since we're doing a test, is run my new battery that I bought. And it's fully charged. As I said before, this one is 54 milliamp, or sorry, 400 milliamp, and this one's 52. These are the ones that come with the package. This is an aftermarket I bought. Now, theoretically, this is going to put out more juice. So we've introduced 2 variables at this point. We have run a battery slap out, and we're trying out a battery that is rated higher than what came with this. Okay. Now I'm not doing any of my calibrations because I'm running here tethered, and I'm also on, I've got it on attitude rather than GPS. Alright, let's see what happens. So we're back to the same bit here. It did drop down a little bit really quickly, but still, whether it's the case or not, it thinks it's got 95% and it thinks it's got 12.2 volts, so I don't know why it's not staying in air. I'm not going to run this one down, so I'm going to just go ahead and pull this guy out. There we go. So, to pull that guy, just going to set him back in the case. I'm going to get number 3, 3 dots, number 3, and get him. So normally if I'm outside I would do this whole thing and, you know, turn around, calibrate, all that jazz. But since I'm not flying, I don't care about GPS. So here we go. Oh. Okay. Holy cow. Huh. So the sag is really intense. Now, I'm wearing long sleeves and a toboggan, but it's not particularly cold in here. I think it's I have no idea what that's about, why it takes off, and if you're a geek and you see this, you're like, oh, I know exactly what that is, but I don't. I'm not a geek at this level. Okay, so I can only assume it's going to do what the last one did. Now, one thing I'm going to try now is charging up that battery that wore slap out, and I don't know, see if that does something. If that's the case, I'll run them all down dead, and charge them all the way up and see if that does something. But I don't know. Here we are. I'm going to kill you. So here's something I'm going to go ahead and note right now, is that this battery, this is the one that I ran all the way down, number 2, but I can tell that it's tight. I don't know if that's from heat expansion or if the cells, something's wrong with, so if you can see that, it's really pooching out a little bit more than most of them. I think that's my focus area. But if you can see that. So I can feel it's smushy. Alright, that